Hello, this is Paul Waking with Higher Logic. I am recording an overview video of our online community and LMS platform for you good folks at PSE of Washington. The purpose is to give you a brief overview of how the tool could work for you and keep your constituents, members, and even non-members, if you wish, connected, allowing them to access information, connect with others, access education, and the like. So real quickly, introducing myself, I'm Paul Waking with the Higher Logic team. I have been with Higher Logic for a little over 7 years. I'm one of our remote employees based out of Madison, Wisconsin. Been working with Tom on talking about these tools, I guess, probably for the last 3 or 4 months or so, something like that. Typically, our tools set out to help organizations in these areas, boosting recruitment and retention, increasing event awareness and registrations, advocacy efforts, and volunteer participation, of course, I think it'd be very big for you guys. Facilitating education and collaboration, not only just the peer-to-peer sharing or PSE sharing information out to members, but members also being able to access online education, whether that's in the form of simply shared resources, files, photos, videos, things like that, or maybe past recorded webinars for educational purposes, or true online LMS learning, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a moment. Really improving the overall member experience, and I think ultimately, at the end of the day, improving the effectiveness of PSE as well, and the union overall. So how the product actually lays out and what we'll be taking a look at it, just an overview in just a moment, is just like this, the core features that you see on the left-hand side of the tools that every client starts with: unlimited number of discussion groups, resource libraries. You can have blogs, wiki glossaries, event-related calendars. The tools are also fully responsive, so they flow out nicely to all mobile devices. Anything that the user is coming at the community platform with, an online learning platform with, is going to render nicely on those devices that they're coming at it with. You'll see these optional modules listed on the right-hand side that are in black, bold. These are ones that we're thinking that PSE is going to start with right out of the gate. Certainly the learning management system or learning management software, the LMS on top, nested communities, which allows your chapters or locals to have communities that are set up in a hierarchy of parent, child, grandchild type hierarchy. So for example, you might be able to have a board of directors related community, an executive committee within that, and then a task force within the executive committee, all while maintaining that relationship within a particular chapter or local association. So the volunteer manager certainly allows you to create volunteer opportunities, gather volunteers from volunteer pool, automatically invite them to opportunities, and then reward them through the process as well. These two that I have in gray, kind of gray bold here, I think these are things that could certainly fit PSE, maybe not now, but certainly in the future. The content manager, literally as it says there, is a true website platform. So think of the ability to build an entire website, the main PSE website, for example, on the Higher Logic content management system. You can also use that CMS for chapter-based microsites. So you could use it for the main PSE website at some point in time. It comes along initially with a bundle of 25 microsites, so you could have 25 local chapters also powering their websites with this. You can buy additional modules of 25 microsites if you need to at any point in time. The mentor match might be something that also is beneficial to you at some point in time. Think of maybe newer chapter leaders being able to be mentored by those who have run chapters and organized and done advocacy efforts over the course of time, sharing their information and their wisdom with others. So a couple of things there, but we're primarily talking about and have priced out with Tom the core features and certainly these black optional modules here. How all this stuff fits together technologically is we'll be using data that is present in your database, the PSE database, that is powered by the folks at Windmill right now. We have spoken with them about integrating or being able to push information into the Higher Logic platform. That's a critical element of it, and I think the folks at Windmill will be sharing pricing information with you on their side of the build for the integration piece. But the important thing to know about that is that with that integration, we're able to provide a unique user experience to whoever is coming at the community or online learning platform, meaning that all of us who are listening to this recording right now could have a slightly to significantly different user experience when we come to those tools. So we may belong to different communities, have registered to different events, be part of a different local chapter or something like that, which allows us to have access or not to things within the community based on how we're described in the member database. So know again that you can use HigherLogic at some point in time for the main website if you choose. We're talking right now about the community and the online learning piece, but we also do have a marketing automation platform. So a lot of times we'll convert folks over who are using MailChimp, Constant Contact, and things like that. But know that all of these tools can work together in concert to help you guys run your operations better, give better overall member experiences. But primarily today, we're just talking about the online community and the education piece. So let me jump out of this and jump out into a demonstration site here real quickly and show you how that looks. So I took a few cues real quickly from your website, colors, logos, things like that, and I came up with a demonstration site. I simply called the demonstration site Connections. You'll see very quickly a couple of things that I want to talk about here. You can see that it recognizes me coming into the community. So once logged in, always logged in if you want to set it up that way. It really reduces the barriers to engagement and allows people to connect with others, access information. You'll notice that I'm also in here as what we call a super administrator. So I have tools like this showing up that allow me to edit this page, go into the admin area, run reports, and different things like that. Members, obviously, or other users would not see these sorts of tools. You'll also notice over here, we have the Google Translate widget embedded right here. So if I wanted to switch the site over to any languages, and you can obviously select the languages that you want to display in the Google Translate widget. But if I want to convert the site over to Spanish, for example, or any of these languages here, I can simply do that right within here. It converts elements of the site over to Spanish. It wouldn't convert this because this is in as a graphic. You can see other elements in here that are now all converted over. The discussions are converted over. Videos are converted over. Even a job board is converted over. You'll notice if we picked up some other widgets, I picked up your Twitter widget and dropped that in here. It's converting the Twitter widget over as well. So you can see how people can come and tailor the site to themselves using that Google Translate widget. So that works pretty well. I'm going to just go quickly back to English here because that's my preferred language. So you can see it bops back and forth between those two languages, or any of those languages for that matter, really simply and easily. Now, realize again, there's a complete CMS that sits underneath this. So how your community landing page, think of this that way, looks is totally up to you. This is how I've designed this one, and I'm not a designer, so bear with my design skills, but just a couple of other real quick examples. Here's a totally different kind of group, Society of Automotive Engineers. This is what their online community looks like. Here, for example, is our own HigherLogic user group. So think of this as a software user group. Actually, you guys as clients of HigherLogic would be enrolled as a member of this and have access to all sorts of resources, ongoing training and education, and so on. But this is just another example of how that looks. So just to give you an idea of what can be done. So let's take a look at a few things on this overall community landing page. Remember what I said about different user experiences for folks coming at the community. So again, think of all of us listening to this recording right now could have that slightly to significantly different user experience based on how we're described within the database. So if someone serves on the board, we could deliver this board of directors welcome message to them. If someone is not a member but thinking about becoming a member, we can recognize that when they're coming in and provide content widgets maybe in this area that say top 5 reasons to join, Whereas if we know it's a member who's here, we can say register now for the annual meeting or conference or something like that. You'll see other widgets over here like latest discussions. These are discussions that are coming from communities that I belong to or communities that I can join. So think of the elements of this overall community landing page are different engagement elements, latest discussions, recent shared files among members. I put a conversation in here just a little bit before our demonstration here of calling it the right to work, what it really means, a conversation about that. You can see that I've also pulled in some of your assets that are out on YouTube. This simply is a job board. If you have a job board or a career center, we can pull that in if that allows an RSS feed. Really simple things, but it makes the community landing page kind of a centralized location. I just popped in these big buttons of start a discussion, set up your profile, and so on. Just to graphically represent those elements within here. You'll see some other things down below here. If you have the volunteer module, which we are talking about, you can point people to that, create a short video, get people engaged in why advocacy is important in their local area, and so on. Same goes for mentoring. This is just an example of a ad or a sponsorship. This could be a house ad for PSE, or maybe you do have true advertisers or sponsors that you wanted to highlight or thank in this space. You'll see some gamification down here below, or simply call it reward and recognition. We can give points to people for doing things within the community, for volunteering, for starting a discussion, for downloading something in a resource library, writing a blog, and so on. That can carry throughout. What you choose to do with the points, add ribbons to profiles, badges, sort of social recognition, things like that, is totally up to you. Some groups will even do tangible things once people reach certain points of thresholds and give them access to publications or give them gift cards or things like that. How you choose to use that is really up to you guys. I mentioned the profile just a bit ago, so let's touch on that real quickly. I'm just going to go into my profile right from here. And then we'll go back and talk about the communities and libraries and things of that nature as well. So the profile is going to be built largely out of information that is in the PSE database. So things like name and title and where they work and what chapter they're in and things like that can certainly be pulled over. Contact information can be pulled over as well. It's really up to you guys and what you want to display in the profiles. So some of it can come from the member database, and some of it could be simply items that exist not within the member database, but exist only within Higher Logic. Like you may not have bio on your members, or you may not have their education history and things like that. Really, things that you think are going to be demographic items that allow people to connect with one another and find the right other people within the PSE universe is what you're going to want to display on the profile. You can also set the privacy settings within here and display different things to different people. So I may choose to show my cell phone to people who I have made connections with in here, whereas I may not show any phone numbers to non-members, for example, right? So usually we'll default set these privacy settings, the community notification settings and things like that, but know that members can come back and customize these and make it really a good experience for them and set themselves up exactly the way that they want. You'll notice that we have an import from LinkedIn area as well, so I can do things like grab my picture from LinkedIn, grab my bio, my work history, my education, things like that, and make rounding out this profile really simple and really easy. Again, most of the pure demographic side of it would come from the PSE member database and the push of information from Windmill. Okay? Finding people within the overall PSE universe, I'll show you how that works real quickly. So this is really important from the standpoint of being able to connect the right people, share information, not have people have to reinvent the wheel if they're working on advocacy efforts and things like that. I just clicked over to an advanced search within here from a basic. The basic search just gives you these elements right here. An advanced search will give you more demographic items and more ability to search and refine your search. I might be looking for somebody within 25 miles of me because I want to meet with them face to face, and I want them to have a certain certification maybe a certified nutritionist or something like that, or any areas of special interest or areas of expertise. And I'm able to find those people then right within my particular area. So let's say that I wanted to find people who were interested or had certain certifications, and I don't know exactly which ones I have in here, so I'll just go for it and select them all. So that should deliver some results to me, and I'll just hit find members. And that delivers to me the folks who have that particular demographic within their profile, and I can find them where they're listed. You see, actually, some of these folks are in the UK, believe it or not, but really simple and really easy to find people within here. Let's go back to the homepage here real quickly and talk about the communities themselves and the types and amount or number of communities that you can have. So I'm going to click them all communities here real quickly and show you just the listing of the communities that I have within my demo site. So I have an event-related community called the annual meeting. I have a chapter-related community, which could be signifying one of your locals. I have some governance-related communities within here, board of directors, finance committee, so on and so forth. I have an education-related community here called Learn, an open forum. That's really all members, special interest groups. So think of maybe topical areas, or for you guys, it might be role-based areas, custodians, paras, nutritionists, facilities people, those types of special interest groups where those people can connect and collaborate and share information. You can have as many community types as many communities as you want, as well as many community types that you want as well. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a moment. Let's go into the board of directors community. Let's say that I'm on the board of PSE and I want to access everything about the board. I have now all at my fingertips in one area that only the board members can access if you choose to set up the security that way. Everything regarding the board is all in this one nice tidy area. So I have a community homepage, which gives me a summary of the things that are going on. I can access all the discussions here, the resource library, blogs if those pertain, upcoming events. I can see who all the members are simply by clicking on the members tab, which might be very helpful for boards and committees and things like that. And it simply shows me really the who's who. I can send them direct messages, add them as contacts within here if I choose, and so on. So very socially enabled throughout. If I want to post a discussion or I want to reply to a discussion, I'll show you this discussion that we created on Right to Work just a bit ago. I'll click on this discussion and show you how it looks within context here. So I clicked on this discussion because Colette had posted this, so it gathered my attention. I clicked on it. I can see that it's been posted here. You can add graphics to it. I can reply in line, or I can make this the best answer. Here's an example of a moderation setting. If you want to use some of the moderation settings within here, that's totally fine. Some groups do that. You'll notice I can also, if I'm down 10 posts within a post, I can click on this to show the original message. Here was the original post set up a few days ago, or obviously a couple months ago, I think, when I was talking with Tom earlier. But you can see how robust a post or sharing can be on here. So I said, hi friends, I thought you might like to see the latest copy of the People newsletter. So I just grabbed this, posted this as a graphic, but it's also linked out to the newsletter online. I can go to the newsletter from this link as well, and I've also attached it as a PDF here. So really robust. I can download the PDF right from here as well. And then this is certainly Colette's response to that. If I do choose to reply, I can just hit reply in line. That takes it right in line here, and I can just say, hi friends. Blah, 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 something like that. I would say something more intelligent to my friends, but I'd say, I can also upload a file. I can, if I want to come back later, save this as a draft as well and not finish the post. So it's really flexible in that regard, but I'm just going to send this off as a real quick example of a post. So you'll see now here's the Colette's post. Here's my post that I made just underneath that. Now, the primary delivery mechanism of these messages is email. So as I'm doing this, I use Outlook for email. I'm receiving that Outlook email notification because I have this set up as real time. And I'll show you just an example of that here in just a moment when that pops up over on my Outlook email. So that should be coming over soon. Actually, it's over there now. So I'm just going to open that up. And I will pull over my Outlook email and show you how that looks as a real-time message. So you can see fully branded look, feel, colors for PSE. I don't even have to leave my email to reply to this. I can use these tools as well, these navigation items, but since I'm in Outlook, I can simply reply to it from Outlook right here as well. So very robust system, simple and easy to use, delivers out the email. Let's change gears a little bit now and talk about the volunteering aspects within here just for a second. The volunteer manager sits within here. There's a number of ways that you can invite people to volunteer opportunities automatically based on preferences that they've given you within their profile saying, I'm interested in volunteering for these sorts of things. You would create volunteer opportunities that have those attributes associated with them. And then anyone who has those attributes in their volunteer profile would automatically be invited to that volunteer opportunity. So you could have volunteer opportunities for PSE overall in the entire state of Washington, or you could allow your locals to be able to create volunteer opportunities just for members of their local as well. So you can kind of have grassroots efforts at a very local level, and only those people within a specific local could be invited to those sorts of things. So creating a volunteer opportunity is really quite simple within here. I'm going to go to just a list of volunteer opportunities, and you'll see it kind of here on this dashboard page. But here's a list of volunteer opportunities that are available. So this is really the second way to invite people, a passive list that's on the site, volunteer under a nav item like this or something. And if I wanted to click on a particular volunteer opportunity to learn more about it, this is one that I did for US Rowing, actually. But you can see how this volunteer opportunity is built out. I get the edit button because I'm in here as a super admin. It wouldn't show to regular members, but you can see I have a full description of the volunteer opportunity. If I have a question about it, I have a contact here that I can talk directly with. And then here is the number of volunteers that are needed, the experience required, number of points that are applied. Remember those engagement points that I talked about. So really simple and easy to see right from here. I'm just going to click the Edit Opportunity button and just show you how you would edit an opportunity, but really how you would also build an opportunity out from here. So creating an opportunity from scratch, these forms would be blank, or this form would be blank, but you can see I can create different opportunity types. Different opportunity types have different attributes associated with them. I can title it. I can use if there's an application that's required, I can use a templated application, or I can create a new application with the form builder that exists. WYSIWYG editor that allows you to describe it, get people interested graphically and also with text. Name the volunteer or name the contact for this particular opportunity, and then add some other graphics or upload pictures that may depict the opportunity. You'll see here when we talked about those qualifications before, you can say, do people meet any of the qualifications or all of the qualifications? The qualifications can be whatever type of list that you want them to be. This is my demo site, so I have a ton of these for different demonstrations that I've done in the past that are pertinent to certain groups. So one was a trade group in heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. So they wanted to make sure that if somebody had a level 1, 2, 3, or 4 certifications, right? Because they were writing exam questions for the certification exams, but you get the idea. So those would be your demographic items. You can automatically send templated emails from here as well, inviting people to things, nominating people for volunteer opportunities, acknowledging things, saying, hey, we received your application, we'll let you know soon, accepting, rejecting, thanking, and so on. So that's a real quick overview of the volunteer. Touching on nested communities, the concept of that we talked about early on in the slides, but think about that. I have this set up in the community sense. So think of this as how the nested communities could lay out for you guys as well. In committees here, I have it just showing up. If I go down to the executive committee, now I have other communities or other groups underneath the executive committee, but it's all respecting this sort of hierarchy or this sort of relationship. So makes a lot of sense for you guys when you think about the local chapters and how they may be arranged in meeting communities, a number of communities within their local chapter, but respecting the relationship to that local chapter. Okay? Let's touch real quickly then too on the LMS portion of things. I'm going to kick over to a different site. ComPartners is our LMS partner. So think of this really as very similar to my community demo site here. I've just created an LMS type of demo site. So you look at kind of the navigation here that goes along the top. I have that same navigation here. So this is on the HireLogic platform. I have my communities, directory, events. I also have Learn right within here. So you can do things in really kind of a neat way to let people know that they're at the learning environment. So I just clicked on Learn Central there was the nav item. So again, I still have all of my nav items here, but now I can access webinars, podcasts, on-demand webinars, actual courses within here. If I want to access a particular course, I could click on it right from here. So anything that really looks like a link is a link. Other elements that show up over here is it's going to recognize me coming in again and show me things that are pertinent to me within my panel right here. I can search for other things too within the educational offerings. Is it social learning or association education or so on? So these search elements can really help a user refine their search and find the things that they're looking for quickly. There's polling, simple polling within here as well. But let me show you a course here real quickly. If I'm interested in going to this particular course, I just clicked on this one. Now you'll see it's taking me to this particular course. This course has a number of different modules. So if I expand this out, it has a getting started, it has a video, it has planning for your first year, and it also has these other elements at the end, an exam, survey, printing out your certificate and things like that. If I click into the getting started here just real quickly, I'll go into the access for module 1, and that's just opening up the access for module 1, and it's giving me the exam. Looks a little strange on my really wide screen here, but I just need to change the resolution setting on that. But that's how simple and easy that is to use and to access right within here. Some groups, when you're thinking about using these things all together, in fact, I have one example here where the company is called Peak Grant Making. This is their learning environment. So you can see I can access webinars, I can access events, the Knowledge Center, online courses, everything right here. Or I can also go to Connect and have access to all my communities and the social learning kind of social aspects of that as well. So just another example there of a client who's using HireLogic as well for both the online community and the online learning piece. So that's a real quick overview of the things that you guys are looking at working with us on and purchasing. Happy to answer any other questions that you may have, but that includes our overview video for today. Thanks a lot. Look forward to working with you guys. Bye-bye.